Did you know there's a hidden rule that every collapsing empire accidentally reveals? When real money rises, civilizations fall. You might think that's just ancient history, but it's not. It's a repeating mathematical script. And whether the masses understand it or not, that script has already been triggered again in our time. Most people will panic, most will argue, and most will lose everything. Because collapse never destroys everyone, it always creates a tiny class of new elites. There is always a moment when wealth moves, silently and violently, from the unaware to the prepared. The world calls this chaos, but the people who know the blueprint call it opportunity. There is a mechanism behind every empire's downfall, a machine hidden in plain view. It decides who gets ruined and who walks away richer than ever. Governments pretend money is complicated. They want you confused. They want you thinking it's controlled by impossible formulas, secret policies, and economic experts. But the truth is brutal and simple. When a nation runs out of money, it prints more, not by earning it, not by producing it, but by creating digital digits and paper promises out of empty air. And every new dollar is a silent theft from the people who already worked for theirs. This is called debasement, the quiet art of stealing without touching a single pocket. And the only real indicator of this theft has never changed. Gold, real money, exposes fake money. Gold doesn't go up. Currencies fall down. When the system rots, gold simply reflects the truth. Today, history isn't repeating, it's accelerating. To understand what's coming, we don't need predictions, theories, or opinions. We only need the pattern, the blueprint. And that blueprint is older than every modern bank on Earth. It played out in Rome when silver coins were shaved, clipped, and hollowed until soldiers refused them. It played out in Spain when mountains of silver turned into poverty. It played out in China when paper money collapsed into dust. And it played out in Britain when a single announcement shattered the value of its currency. Now, the pattern has reached the United States. The countdown isn't coming, it already started. And just like every empire before it, only the people who understand the shift will survive it. Before we continue, hit the like button and follow, because in the next section, I'll reveal the exact moment every empire crossed the financial point of no return, and how the same moment is happening right now in front of us. History doesn't whisper its warnings, it screams them. Let's step into that time machine and watch how the blueprint played out again and again, long before smartphones, banks, or stock charts existed. Our first stop, ancient Rome. Their economy was powered not by paper or digital numbers, but by a silver coin called the denarius. In the beginning, it was pure, trusted, and stable. People could feel its weight and know it had real value. For nearly 3 centuries, Rome kept that honesty alive, and the empire grew into the most powerful force on the planet. But power brings greed. Governments promise more than they can afford. Wars get bigger, armies get expensive, and instead of cutting spending, rulers start cheating the currency. Rome didn't admit it. They didn't announce it. They simply melted the coins and made new ones with less silver inside. First 95%, then 90%, then 80%. For a while, nobody noticed, but slowly the illusion faded. By the 3rd century, that once powerful denarius was mostly worthless metal with a thin silver coating that rubbed off in people's hands. The market saw the truth. Soldiers, Rome's backbone, refused the fake money and demanded gold instead. Prices exploded. Trade broke down. The empire fractured. Money died first, Rome died after. Now let's move forward to the 1500s. Spain was the richest nation alive. They had something no other empire could imagine. Oceans of gold and rivers of silver, shipped from South America by the ton. They believed they discovered the ultimate shortcut. Why build an economy when you can buy the world? But the blueprint struck again. When too much money chases the same goods, prices don't just rise, they explode. Bread, wool, rent, everything multiplied in cost. And instead of fixing the problem, Spain borrowed more, fought more wars, and drowned itself in debt. Eventually, they tried Rome's trick, replacing real silver with cheaper metal. And just like clockwork, the currency collapsed, the poor starved, and Spain lost everything. Then we jumped to the Ming Dynasty. China tried something even more ambitious, paper money backed by nothing but trust. It was new, modern, brilliant. until the government printed it into oblivion. The notes became worthless and the people rejected them. Silver took over again. But when the silver supply dried up, the empire crumbled almost overnight. Different civilizations, different cultures, different centuries, and every time, the story is the same. Before we move to the modern world, where this blueprint is repeating again, tap follow and share this video. Part 3 will expose exactly when the United States crossed the same line, and why the signal has already flashed. Now the blueprint arrives at the modern age. After Rome, after Spain, after the Ming, after Britain, the torch of global power passed to one empire, the United States of America. When World War II ended, one nation held the world's gold, factories, technology, and military. So, the world made a deal. The US dollar would become the anchor of global money. Every currency on earth would trust it, because America promised the dollar could always be exchanged for real gold at $35 an ounce. It was as good as gold. That promise is what made the dollar king. But just like every empire before it, temptation arrived. Wars in Vietnam, giant government spending, welfare programs, bases around the world. Instead of paying with earned wealth, the US began printing money. Safe at first, then reckless. Other countries saw the trick. France, led by Charles de Gaulle, called America's bluff. They demanded their gold back. Other nations joined. US gold reserves started draining like water from a cracked bucket. The blueprint was catching up. And then came the moment that changed the world forever. August 15, 1971. President Nixon went on television and quietly announced that dollars could no longer be converted into gold. The promise was broken. The world's money instantly became pure paper backed by nothing. In that moment, the dollar wasn't as good as gold anymore. It was just ink and faith. And faith is the weakest currency ever invented. What happened next was predictable. Gold exploded. Not because gold changed, but because the dollar didn't hold its value anymore. $35 an ounce became $70, then $180, then $800. Every doubling of gold was a siren, screaming that the system was failing. And today, after the 2008 crash, endless wars, and the record-shattering money printing during the 2020s, that siren is louder than ever. Here's the trap. While people are distracted by digital coins, tokens, and government-approved solutions, the oldest playbook is running again. Central banks are secretly buying more gold than at any time in modern history. Nations are pulling their gold out of foreign vaults. Powerful families are moving into real assets, gold, silver, land, rare metals, and resources that can't be created with a keyboard. Because when an empire's money breaks, you don't need the next hot investment. You need survival wealth assets you can hold, touch, store, trade, and pass on. The wealth transfer has already begun. The signal is flashing. Gold has risen. The dollar is weakening. The blueprint never lies. Before this wave hits the public, hit follow, because in the next video, I'll reveal exactly where money is secretly moving, which assets are becoming the new gold rush, and how ordinary people can get ahead of the collapse instead of getting crushed by it. Thanks for watching.